You ever wonder what happens when a government official just says no and gives you nothing but a shrug as the reason? That is basically what discretion means in immigration law. And yes, it can absolutely be challenged if it smells fishy. Think of an immigration officer like a referee in a soccer match who gets to make judgment calls. Most calls are fine, but sometimes a referee just decides they do not like your shoes, and suddenly you are getting a card for no real reason. Discretion is the power an officer has to approve or deny something even when you technically qualify. It sounds scary, but it is not a blank check. There are still rules about how that power gets used. Here is the plain truth. Discretion cannot be a costume for bias. If an officer denies your case because of your accent, your religion, or your country of origin, that is not judgment. That is discrimination wearing a badge. So how do you fight back? First, you gather evidence, because vibes do not hold up in court, but patterns and paperwork do. Think receipts, not feelings. Screenshots, denial letters, comparisons to similar cases that got approved, all of it becomes ammunition. A lot of people think you cannot question government decisions at all, like officers are basically wizards behind a curtain. Wrong. There is something called judicial review, where a real court can look at whether the decision was arbitrary, capricious, or just plain unfair. Arbitrary is a fancy word for random. If the officer ignored evidence, made up facts, or contradicted their own agency's policy, a judge can slap that decision down like a bad referee call getting overturned by video review. You also want to look at something called the Administrative Procedure Act. Basically, the rule book that says government agencies have to explain themselves. No explanation or a nonsense explanation is basically an open invitation for appeal. Here's a fun twist most people miss. Discretion abuse cases often win not because the officer was evil, but because they were sloppy. Missing steps, skipped interviews, ignored documents, these little cracks become your legal foothold. Community stories matter here too. Ask around, join immigration forums, because if 5 people from the same background got denied using the same weak excuse, that pattern becomes powerful evidence of discrimination, not coincidence. Now let us bust a myth. Hiring a lawyer does not mean you are guilty or weak. It means you are strategic. Think of a lawyer as your translator between messy government language and reality. Preparation beats panic every single time. The people who win these challenges are the ones who documented everything early, not the ones who scrambled after the fact. At the end of the day, discretion should feel like fairness with flexibility, not a mood ring depending on who is sitting behind the counter. If something feels off, trust that instinct, then go find the paperwork to back it up. Want to learn more about how real lawyers handle cases exactly like this? Check out our links in the description below.